Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I am Sumaira Nawaz, working as Subject Specialist English at Divisional Public School in College Sahiwal. I welcome you to the online classes at DPS. Today we are going to read Book 2 that consists of the stories of heroes from the past. We are going to start chapter number 15. It is about Mustafa Kamal and this is written by Wilfred F. Castle. By the end of this lesson, you will be able to have some background information. You will have a review of the lesson and you will be able to answer the questions related to the chapter. This chapter is about the dissolution of the Ottoman Empire. Ottoman Empire was a large Turkish empire which began as a Turkish sultanate centered in modern Turkey. It was founded in late 13th century and lasted until the end of First World War. Most of the areas of Asia, Africa and Europe were part of Ottoman Empire. The First World War serves as the background of the dissolution of Ottoman Empire. This is called World War because the major powers at that time plunged into war against each other. Britain, France and Italy made an alliance and they were called Allies, and Turkey decided to side with Germany. And Turkish people sided with Germany and the First War ended in the defeat of Turkey and Central Power. Now the people of Istanbul and Padishah were ready to cooperate with the Allies. Istanbul was the central city of the Ottoman Empire. But the people of Anatolia revolted against the Padishah. The people of Anatolia were very patriotic and they knew that the Allies wanted to divide the Ottoman Empire. So they decided to revolt against the Padishah. Mustafa Kamal was a general and he was sent to Anatolia to put down the revolt. But he himself was a patriot and he neglected the orders of Padishah. He met a person early fought there and he led the revolt against the Greeks and started a guerrilla war. When Padishah came to know of the intentions and plans of Mustafa Kamal, he ordered him to return to Constantinople. But Mustafa Kamal remained there at Anatolia and he asked Mehmed to come to Anatolia and lead the revolt by himself. And in this way he neglected his orders. At this point, Mehmed tried to regain Anatolia by using diplomacy. He offered them to come to Istanbul and made a government of their own. Many of the people left Mustafa Kamal to join Mehmed. But Mustafa Kamal saw through the plots of Mehmed. He united the scattered people and Allies had to dissolve the National Assembly as a result of that. Afterwards, the Allies offered the terms of peace. These terms of peace were very insulting because they offered very insulting terms in which the king was to be under the supervision of the Allies. The Arab provinces were to become mandated territories. The whole of eastern Anatolia was to be added to the state of Armenia. Around Izmir was to be a large Greek district. Sicilia was to go to the French and the capital was to be under the joint control of Britain and Italy. It was unacceptable to the patriotic people of Turkey, so they refused these terms and started a war. Mustafa Kamal led the revolt against the foreign troops and Turkish patriots fought with the Greeks. These two people fought for 14 days valiantly, but afterwards the Allies had to meet complete defeat. We have an account of the defeat of Allies and the exile of the old Sultan from the palace. We know about the meeting of the Grand National Assembly on 23rd April 1920 in which they unanimously decided Mustafa Kamal as their president. Afterward, Mustafa Kamal came into power and laid the foundation of modern Turkey. Mustafa Kamal introduced many reforms in the fields of industry, education, social and culture. He changed the national dress, he changed the Roman script, he also introduced heavy industry, and he also laid stress on the education of women. He was given the title of Ataturk by the people of Turkey, which means the father of Turks, means he was the father of the nation for the Turkish people because he saved them from the destruction. Now let's start the question answers of this chapter. First question is, what was the attitude of Turkish government towards the Allies after World War I? Answer to this question is, after the World War I, the Allies were welcomed by the Turkish people. The government in Istanbul and the Padishah himself were ready to lay down arms. Means they were not ready to fight against them. They surrendered before them and they were ready to cooperate with the Allies. Question number 2 is, why was Mustafa Kamal sent to Anatolia? The people of Anatolia were not ready to cooperate with the Allies. They started a revolt against the Allies. Mustafa Kamal was sent to Anatolia to put down this revolt. Question number 3 is, what was the reaction of Turkish patriots to the intentions of the Allies about partition of Ottoman Empire? Intention, design, or their idea or plot? The Turkish patriots showed a severe reaction to the evil plans of the Allies. When they came to know that the Allies wanted to divide the Ottoman Empire, they expressed their patriotism quite clearly. Means they started a guerrilla war against them. Write a note on Mustafa Kamal's activities in Anatolia. Mustafa Kamal was sent to Anatolia to put down the revolt. But he himself was a patriot. He encouraged the people for revolt. He started a guerrilla war against the Greeks. He urged patriots to build up a national army and establish a government at Anatolia. Why did Mehmed order Mustafa Kamal to return to Constantinople? Mustafa Kamal was sent to Anatolia to put down the revolt, but he himself was a patriot. He, instead of putting down the revolt, he encouraged the people for revolt. He started a guerrilla war against the Greeks. He urged patriots to build a national army and establish a government at Anatolia. When Padishah at Istanbul came to know about the activities of Mustafa Kamal at Anatolia, he ordered Mustafa Kamal to return to Constantinople. What was Mustafa Kamal's reply? It is very daring answer by any general to the emperor. Mustafa Kamal sent a long telegram to Mehmed to come to Anatolia and lead the revolt against the foreign troops. He said in his telegram, I shall stay in Anatolia until the nation has won its independence. Means they were not ready to surrender or they were not ready to go back to Constantinople. How did Mehmed try to regain Anatolia for himself? Mehmed played a political trick to regain Anatolia. He adopted diplomacy and cunningness, craftiness. He declared to form a government in the capital. He invited the nationalists to shift their activities to Istanbul and put Mustafa Kamal's ideas in practice. Why did Mehmed's plan fail? When Mehmed invited the nationalists to come to Istanbul and establish their government there, Mustafa Kamal saw through the plot. He refused to come to Istanbul. Mustafa Kamal was left alone for the time being, but he did not lose heart. He united the scattered people, men, women, and peasants to obstruct the advance of the Allies to Anatolia. The patriots also rejoined Mustafa Kamal. In this way, Muhammad's plan failed and the Allies had to withdraw their army and dissolve the National Assembly. This is the map of the Ottoman Empire and the terms of peace offered by the Allies, in which they had to divide the Ottoman Empire into different mandated territories. And our question also consists of this: what were the terms offered to Turkey by the Allies? The Allies published the term of peace. The king was to be under the supervision of the Allies. The Arab provinces were to become mandated territories. The whole of eastern Anatolia was to be added to the state of Armenia. Around his knee was to be a large Greek district. Sicilia was to go to the French. The capital was to be under the joint control of Britain and Italy. Means the whole of the Ottoman Empire was to be divided into different sections. Next question is, give an account of Greek attack and their defeat. The Greeks attacked on 21st August 1921. The two people fought under the burning heat of the sun. The fierce fight between the Turks and the Allies continued for 14 days. Mustafa Kamal was the commander-in-chief of the Turks. The Allies were completely defeated in this fight. Give an account of the departure of Muhammad from Istanbul. It was the 17th of November 1922. A British motor ambulance drew up at the side door of the palace where Muhammad was staying. The old Sultan sat and the motor drew away. The last of the Sultan was in his great exile. Describe the reforms introduced by Mustafa Kamal with reference to the position of women. After coming into power, Mustafa Kamal brought many reforms in the fields of education, industry, and social and cultural aspects and the living of Turkish people. So, the reforms introduced by Mustafa Kamal with reference to the position of women is one of the very important. Mustafa Kamal emphasized that women should work shoulder to shoulder with men. He had a firm belief that women should get higher education in every field of life. So he abolished the wearing of veil because it was a hindrance in their working. He clearly announced that Turkish women are as intelligent and studious as men. Describe the reforms introduced by Mustafa Kamal with reference to the removal of illiteracy. Illiteracy, ignorance, or means what were the reforms brought out by Mustafa Kamal in the field of education. Mustafa Kamal introduced following reforms in the field of education. Many educational institutions opened everywhere. He brought education under the control of the government. He simplified the language. The Roman script was adopted instead of Arabic script. He trained a number of teachers. He himself became a school teacher and used to teach the people. He made education compulsory for everyone. He asked the women to get higher education. Describe the reforms introduced by Mustafa Kamal with reference to the change in dresses. National headdress of Turkey was fez. It was Greek in its origin. In 1925, Mustafa Kamal abolished it. Wearing of hat was made compulsory. He also abolished the wearing of veil by women. Our next question is, describe the reforms introduced by Mustafa Kamal with reference to the adoption of Roman script. Turkish language was written in Arabic script before Mustafa Kamal. It was quite complicated. It was hindrance in the spread of education. Mustafa Kamal decided to replace it with Roman script and thus made the Turkish language easy. He himself made tours to teach people how to use the new script. This change proved very fruitful. The next question is, describe the reforms introduced by Mustafa Kamal with reference to the industrial and economical development. Mustafa Kamal introduced the following reforms with reference to the industrial and economic development. He built new roads and railway in the country. He introduced heavy industry and modern marketing in the country. In 1919, there were only 150 factories. He raised this number to 2000 till 1933. He reorganized banking system. The national debt was reduced to 1/10 of its former size. Sum up in a few sentences the work of Mustafa Kamal as a great nation builder. Mustafa Kamal saved Turkey from its destruction. He refused to accept humiliating peace terms offered by allies and refused to cooperate with them. He defeated the Greeks and laid the foundation of Turkish Republic. After assuming power, he introduced radical reforms in the educational, social, economical and industrial field. Radical means from the base, very fundamental, complete change. In short, he was a great nation builder. That is why he was also given the title of Ataturk, which I have already told you means the father of Turks, the father of the nation. So, this is all for our today's lesson. Hope you have all got all the points. Thank you and love.